Kaleider is a new producing organisation based in Exeter.
So Kaleider's called Kaleider for a reason. We're interested in throwing people together and seeing what sticks, seeing what fuses out of that collision. We're interested in bringing academics and artists and creatives and other cultural leaders together to see what we can make happen together that we couldn't make happen apart.
Kaleider invited Teo, Hilary and Lucy, who form Case for Optimism, to come to Exeter and to run a day-long discussion event.
Case for Optimism is a space. It's a space for people from all creative backgrounds, in fact any background, to have a chance to engage.
The reason for holding a day like Case for Optimism is in order to bring people together to face some of the biggest challenges in the world at the moment.
One of the ways in which they do that is by inviting two academics.
Today we invited Professor Tim Lenton from University of Exeter, who's Chair of Climate Science, and his real excitement is about tipping points. And we also invited Paul Allen, who is Director of a project at the Centre for Alternative Technology.
By beginning with these talks, it means that for the rest of the day we're able to have that in the back of our mind as we look at how we can maximise our creative response to these global challenges. What they do is provide that context for the creatives in the room. They show the graphs and they show the facts of what the world is actually facing.
I think these are the fundamental questions that permeate society now. What we need to do is to work with artists to say, this is the context that we are working within.
I want to inform myself, and I think it's really critical that there is this engagement with the academic scientific community.
Actually, what we're trying to do today is to make sure it feels slightly lighter, so that people who are in positions of leadership, cultural influence, can actually respond through their practice to some of these ideas that sometimes they might find themselves turning away from.
Kaleider invited a broad range of individuals and organisations from across the southwest to Case for Optimism. It was made up of cultural leaders, of artists across art form, thinkers, educationalists, psychologists, and also just people who are interested in looking at their practice within this context of building a resilient and sustainable future.
Are really looking forward to the possibility of working with Kaleider, because I think we can both bring our expertise and our kind of particular way of doing things.
Case for Optimism is a space to hear that, and then from a place of confidence and creativity to imagine, well, what can futures be like that are aspirational rather than dystopian.
It's lovely that today we've used plasticine and we've used crayons and we've done visual meditations. I think there's a real opportunity as well as a challenge to slip these into other normal meetings.
I think what has come out of the Case for Optimism really will enable me to reflect on how we actually programme work, and that we try and programme work that has a focus on resilience and sustainability for the future.
I think there are really small things we can do straight away, and they're about changing a mindset or changing a way of working or changing a way of doing things. In many ways, I don't know the answers, and this feels like a good starting point as a conversation, to kind of have a conversation about something to kind of kick-start that process.
We need to be able to do this together, so we have to start to understand how we do work collectively, how we share and imagine together to bring it to fruition. So the day is brought onto that structure with an ending of saying, well, how do we go forwards with that?
Over the next few years, Kaleider will be both making work and commissioning work from artists, probably mostly in non-auditorium spaces, so possibly outside, possibly in warehouses, often to audiences who aren't normal theatre-going audiences.